If you are as excited about New Comic Book Day as I am, you are in the right spot. Welcome to the ComicManAndy Comic Cave and Comic Dojo. It's New Comic Book Day. Hit subscribe and stay tuned. What is good, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Happy New Comic Book Day. I hope you're as excited for new comics as I am. And if you're not, that's okay. You're looking for some good reads too, I bet. Wednesday, hump day. We're halfway through the week. We're more than halfway through the week now, right? New Comic Book Day. At the end of the day, it's time to kick back, relax, get into some of these great reads. Hit up this chat. Maybe recap the reads again. Hit up this chat and go over some announcements. But stay tuned with us for the next 40 or so minutes as we go over some of the pickups today, some of the reads, and talk about why I'm still reading some of the stuff that I'm reading. Good gravy. But as always, we'll dip right into Marvel first to begin with because, once again, no DC books this week. Did not pick anything up from DC. We'll keep looking. We picked up Peacemaker recently. Had fun with that. We'll keep looking. We'll see what's going down. Looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say about New Comic Book Day and what we've missed out on, what we should be grabbing, what we definitely should get a parking ticket for not picking something up. But Villains for Hire. Issue 2, Devil's Reign, is out. This hits the reading pile for now. It's one of those reads where I added it to the pull list, kind of forgot about it, and now I need to budget and make more time than I thought about for reading. So it's hitting the reading pile. That's fine. I'm willing to accept the fact now that I'm just going to have a continuous reading pile to some degree. It's one of those things where I'm buying a lot more books than I can read on any given week. And generally on Wednesday, I can read about 4 or 5, maybe even 6 sometimes, depending on the type of read. So there's going to be a lot of them hitting my reading pile. That's fine. There's rainy days here in Michigan. We can sit back and read. Next up from Marvel, Elektra, number 2. Killer cover. I'm remembering hearing somebody say yesterday this cover is basically essential Elektra right here. Like, this is it. And I want to say it's one of the guys from the Simplemans Comics group yesterday during the Comic News Weekly show. Killer cover. I'm digging this. I almost wonder if I should have pre-ordered a bunch of these or a few of these and got some slab. This looks really good. Once again, it hits the reading pile though. Total cover buy, but definitely if I bought it, picked it up and own it, I'm gonna look into reading it at some point. Paul Dunn, what is up? Zombie, good to see you as well. Mishu Seaman, good to see you. We'll hit up the chat here after we get through these books real quick. Silk number 2 is out. Silk, I'm kind of intrigued on what they're going to do with this character. So that's kind of why I'm picking up the issues, kind of setting them aside, getting them ready to read at some point. I don't want to miss something big. It's like I wish I would have bought and picked up the Miles Morales series from the very get-go. So it's like, maybe Silk. Silk is going to be something I'm going to want to keep my eye on. I read that first little volley that they did, I think the 3 or 4 issue miniseries, and it was entertaining. It wasn't mind-blowing, but we'll see where they go with this one. Next up from Marvel, Silver Surfer Rebirth 2 Killer cover. This was pretty much a cover buy for me, but I think I have issue 1. Might as well get issue 3 and 4 and see where they go with this. But yes, absolutely. Got to pick up that cover. Cover buying. I'm doing a lot of cover buying. You guys saw me buying all the variants. I'm cover buying too now. But that's Marvel. That's it. Quiet week from Marvel. So next up, we're moving into the indie realm of things. And this is where it gets a little bit spicy this week. House of Slaughter number 5 is out. Let's talk about this for a minute. How many here reading or how many here watching now or watching on the replay, please comment down below. How many here watching this video are reading House of Slaughter and are happy with it? And if you're not happy, I want you to comment down below. It's called House of Slaughter. There's not a lot of slaughtering going on here, to be honest with you. And I just, this is going to hit the chopping block at some point. I might see where the next issue goes. I don't know. This is not enough slaughter, not enough terror, not enough horror, not enough thriller, not enough suspense. It's definitely under. I'm not saying it's a bad story, but it's not what I was looking for when I added House of Slaughter to my pull list based off of previews, and I was really excited, kind of conjoined, this world of the Slaughter, House of Slaughter, the world of Something is Killing the Children from James Tynion. This is just essentially kind of turning into a very, very lightly. It's not really a horror. It's not even really a thriller. This is more of a romance story between two of the characters with some thriller and with some horror mixed in. And it's just not, it's not what I expected it to be. It's written well. I think it's written very well, actually, but it's not what I was buying the issue for. I was buying the issue literally for House of Slaughter, monsters, horror, thriller, slash. And yeah, we did get a little bit of action. We did get a little bit of slashing, and there was a house, and there was some slaughtering going on in that house. But for the bulk of the 5 issues, with all the money going into House of Slaughter, with all the variants, it's just not what I thought it was going to be as far as the read goes. It's anybody, without spoiling this for anybody that hasn't read it. This is just This has been 5 issues of basically a light romance story between two characters. It's very well written, and if it was sold as kind of like a light romance story, it'd probably fare better for me. I was looking forward to monsters and thriller, and it's not cutting it for me. I really hate to say this. I really wanted to see this go long term and really enjoy it. But 6 issues in, it's going to be 6 issues in. I'll pick up the 6th issue to see the end of the arc. If this wasn't the end of the arc, but I'm not happy with this. And what am I going to do? I'm going to continue to torture myself and buy all the variants. No, I'm probably going to, in fact, I'm going to commit to dropping to just cover A on this. And then maybe I'll give it 2 or 3 more issues to see if it gets a little bit better. But they've bought way too many variants and way too many covers for this, and it's just not performing in the style of story that what I hoped it would be. 1, it's written very well. Don't get me wrong. 2, the artwork is good. I like it. 3, it's not a House of Slaughter. It's not. This isn't cutting it for me. It's like I said. It's just like a light romance story between two characters, and it's like, okay, that's not what I was buying the issue for. Not what I was buying the issue for. So a little bit frustrated with that, because I was expecting, while Something is Killing the Children to be on a small break, for there to be a lot of horror, thriller, action happening in this universe via House of Slaughter. And then all of that would pick right up with Something is Killing the Children next month. If I remember correctly, next month, Something is Killing the Children is coming out. And it's just not, it's like two polar opposites within the same universe. And that's not what I was really kind of looking for. I didn't want to have polar opposite storytelling within the same universe. It's not what I was looking for. The blank sketch variant is looking pretty good, though. This screams, red, silver marker. This could do really well. Ooh, purple marker? Can you imagine purple marker on that? That'd be really cool. A lot of the variants really are cover price variants, and continuing on with the cover price variants for House of Slaughter. I like that one with the old man dragon's gold jaw on there, and then the unlocked version of that right here, which basically just drops the trade dress at the top and turns it into a virgin variant. That would actually do really good with some remarks and signatures as well. Then next up, still in House of Slaughter, is the 1 in 25, which I actually think looks pretty good. And then even better is that 1 in 50. That looks really good. I really like that and think that looked really good slabbed. And the way they are using the space still, again, screams to me remark, signatures. Could you imagine a big silver pen on here? Or even a red metal flake art pen or paint pen at the top. God, that would look really cool. There's so many books stashed away now for like signing events at conventions for this year, next year. It's absolutely bonkers. It's absolutely bonkers. And then you want to talk about bonkers with variants and stuff like that. We're still on the indie scene here. But I'm going to close that out and say House of Slaughter, I'm dropping to cover A. In fact, I'm going to send an email immediately tonight after this. I'm dropping to just cover A of House of Slaughter. And I'll give it 2 more issues. I'll give it 2 more issues. But it's just 2 incredibly polar opposite story styles within the universe of Erica Slaughter and the House of Slaughter. And I wasn't looking for polar opposites. I was looking for a continuation storytelling of different characters from a different perspective in the same kind of story line, not storyline, but like, story style. Horror, thriller, action, suspense. It's like dashes little bits of that in with a romance story, basically, and it's just not what I was looking for. It's not what I was looking for with that. I feel really kind of disappointed by that. But moving along, without dwelling too much on that, Boom Studios still Berserker is out, and Berserker continues to be a story that gives me just enough to make me want to know what's going to happen in the next issue, but not enough to say, wow, that was a really good read. This is average. Continues to be average. I'm saying it's written well. I'm saying I like the artwork, but this is a fault of its own success, if you will. Or how shall we say? It's faulted by the fact that it's supposed to be a 6-issue miniseries and they stretched it to 12. And this reads like a 6-issue miniseries that's got a bunch of filler in it that's been stretched to 12. This thing would have been delivering some gangbuster reading if it was back into the 6-issue series that they were supposed to do instead of being stretched to 12. I talked about that a little bit some time ago, and I'm touching bases on it again. This should not have been stretched to 12 issues. It should have been left at 6. I'm still going to see it to the end. I'm invested in this, right? I really do want to see this to the end. But Berserker continues to be a series that, like, okay, cool. All right, I want to see what happens next. Delivers just enough. Just enough to cut over the bar, so to speak. But not enough to be like, oh my God, that was an amazing read. So I'm doing what we can to talk about these books without super spoiling them for anybody that hasn't picked up the books. But the cover B is really killer. I dig this a lot. Jumping right out of a helo with a bloody crowbar and a bloody mace. And you know what Berserker does well every time they come to the stands is they come with that variant madness and they foil out a bunch of the covers too, which I'm still having fun with this because you guys know I love foil, right? I love foil. And I'm going to keep buying the foil variants. These aren't like ratio. These aren't expensive. They're just kind of cover price. I think they're $1 more maybe for the foil. So I'm still digging those. And when they foiled out that other cover, that looked really cool. The purples and the pinks all foiled out in this looked really good. I'm digging that. I'd love to see this slabbed. In fact, I think I'm just going to do a CGC submission of Berserker foil variants just of those, just so I can unbox all the foil. Call it foil madness. That would be kind of cool. But that's almost it for Berserker. We did get the 1 in 25 as well, Virgin variant of cover A, basically. And then the 1 in 50. I'm actually digging that quite a bit. But you know what we didn't get? We didn't get any of the other ratio variants that we have been pulling because they all got damaged. I mean, they got so damaged to the point my LCS said, no, we're not even going to attempt this. They're done. They're toast. They're finito. So we stopped at the 1 in 25 and the 1 in 50. Berserker is going to be one that, because there's only 6 more issues left, there's only 5 more issues left. There's only 5 more months left in Berserker. So I think I'm just going to see it out, and I'm just going to get all of the variants that I can and try to work on basically a completed set. Anything that I do miss, I'll just try to pick up later after everything's all said and done. See where they go with all of that. Don't wait, but wait. Don't fret. There's still plenty more books. We're only halfway through New Comic Book Day. We'll get through the rest of these couple of books here. Then we're going to hit up the chat here before we do a replay or a recap of the books. But yes, fair amount of books. And you know the crazy thing is? There's a lot of books here this weekend or this week for the Wednesday. But we didn't spend a lot of money. We got a lot of value this week. A lot of the variants were cover price variants this week, which was interesting to see. Besides the Berserker 1 in 25 and the 1 in 50, I think the House of Slaughter had the 1 in 25, 1 in 50. Those were not expensive, actually. Those were well below ratio. Interesting to see how that kind of turns. I don't know, because usually when you get that deep into a series with issues and ordering tapers off or people stop, people lose interest on that, the variants don't always hit. Like, they don't always get ordered. So then they're usually trying to price them up a little bit higher to help make that money back for those extra issues that they've ordered. But we're still on the indie scene here. Don't go anywhere. We'll hit up this chat real quick, but I didn't even bother to tape this one shut. Saga issue 56 is out, and one read is not going to be enough. I read half of it. I read maybe a quarter of it or a third of it in the LCS where I decided that I just wanted to get home and sit down and read it. Saga issue 56. Some of you guys were right. I'm going to say that. Some of you guys hinted on some things of potentially the way they were going to play out. Some of you guys were right. But boy, did they throw us a curveball or two on this. And at the very end, holy twist. The very last 2 pages is one hell of a twist there. So if you are a Saga fan, you're going to enjoy this. And you're also going to be like, wait, why are they doing this? And why is this like this? Those are some of the feelings you're going to feel reading Saga this week. So look forward to that. And look forward to the fact that we've got several more years of Saga reading going on month to month with hopefully no more breaks. Either way, Saga 56 is out. Glad I picked it up. It's the first book that I opened up to try to read, and it's the first book that I read as soon as I got home through and through. And I didn't even bother taping it shut. And that's just going to be how my Saga box goes for the next year or two. Is they're just going to be dropped right in there. I'm not going to bother to tape. I'm not going to bother to waste the tape. I'm going to be pulling these things out to read every other week, it seems like, or every month, and going and rereading them through and through. So yes, Saga. I love it. I'm glad it's back. The cover kind of tugs at your heartstrings a bit, and some of the pages inside are going to tug at your heartstrings a little bit more too, depending on what kind of Saga fan you are. So there it is. You will enjoy it. Trust me. It's good. Oblivion Song is up next from Image Comics. Oblivion Song 35. Now, what's that saying? It isn't over until the fat lady starts singing. Well, she's definitely warming up, as this is the second to last issue here. And boy, is this series not ending like I thought it was going to end. And I'll leave it for you to be the judge on whether that's good or bad. But we got one more issue coming up. And the last page is not what I was expecting. It's not what I was expecting. So if you've been reading Oblivion Song, you're going to be interested in issue 35, and you're going to want to see issue 36. If you've been off of Oblivion Song for a year or more, it's not going to be on your radar. I wouldn't try to pick it up now until you've gotten caught up on all the other readings, so you're probably reading on the trades. But still with Image, Department of Truth. You guys know that I'm not even going to bother to read this on New Comic Book Day just because of how in-depth I've got to get with this series, and I got to go back and read several issues. Really trippy covers this month. Really cool stuff. I am still intrigued. I still think this is one that I'm going to continue to enjoy. It's just one of those things where I can't take it month to month. Giggity. I have to sit down and I have to reread several issues and kind of get back into that frame of thought or back into that mindset, and then taking that new issue and then reread it a couple more times and figure out what I missed. But there it is, hitting the reading pile, Department of Truth. And that's issue 16 already. Wow. Next up, we're moving on from Image, but we're still in indie titles. Several more left right here. From Scout Comics is Redshift number 5. Now, this one is a bit above average. This one tickles my sci-fi space adventure funny bone, so to speak. I kind of lost track of where this series was. Glad this is out and I'm getting back in with this. It's decent. It's decent. I like it. I could see this being a good 1 or 2 season show somewhere on Sci-Fi or something like that, and enjoying it and being thankful that I had it. But I think there could be more meat on the bone here, so to speak. But if you like sci-fi, if you like space adventures, this is probably something you're going to want to check out. Whether you wait for the trade or whether you go searching for the single issues, that's cool. The single issues should be out there at some LCSs, and you should be able to find them for cover price or less. Not a spec book, not anything anybody's really, talking a whole lot about. So the issues should be laying around somewhere for you. And then next up is AWA Upshot Telepaths number 6 of 6. Now that this is said and done, this is going to basically hit the reading pile of 6 issues. I'm going to read it, put it away, figure out what I want to do with it. Like we've talked about, I'm running out of storage space for comic books. This might be a 6-issue series that hits a giveaway, or it hits like a Saturday where it gets bundled up and somebody gets it for a really good deal. So there it is. I'm interested to see how that finishes or how that series ends. But it's gonna be a hot minute before I can get to that reading pile and really get to that. Then last 2 issues up are something that I heard kind of quite a few people talking about today and was not anticipating. Star Wars: The High Republic Adventures 13 is out, and if I remember hearing people correctly, this is the final issue of this series. You guys correct me if I'm wrong. If this was, somebody hit me up in the chat, let me know if it's not the final issue. I think it's the final issue here. And you know what the funny thing is I'm sitting there walking around the LCS, kind of looking at the walls, kind of digging through bins, and I heard several people walking the walls looking for it, but then they immediately hop on their phones and start calling other comic shops saying, hey, I'm looking for Star Wars High Republic Adventures number 13. Do you have any in stock? Oh, what did I miss? I got to go back and look. I don't know if it's just because it's under ordered, low print, low pop, or something like that, that people wanted to close out the series and make sure they didn't miss out on this. But I don't think I've ever seen anybody walk around an LCS and then when they see that an issue's gone, immediately call 3 or 4 other LCSs looking for copies of this. Kind of interesting. I don't think I've seen that before. Not with a Star Wars Adventures book from IDW either. But we did get that retailer incentive as well. I can't remember if it's like a 1 in 10 or a 1 in 5, but it was so under ordered by my LCS that they didn't even put the tag on it like they usually do. They just kind of set it on the shelf with the other copies. But that is the lineup for New Comic Book Day down here in the Comic Dojo. We went over the books really quick. Everybody's filtering in. It's time to hit up this chat and go over some announcements, and then we can do a recap of the books if people continue to roll in. It's so good to see you all in the middle of the week on Hump Day. Zombie Dance is in here. Well, at least Something's Killed the Children coming back very soon. Yes, next month. They had that preview issue out. Ashcan for 21 dropped last week. That surprised, like 1 per store kind of variant Ashcan. And but second up actually was the Paul Dunn in the chat. First up, though, was somebody near and dear to my heart, was feeling a little under the weather today. Mr. Alexander was first in the chat to begin with. So early, so though, that YouTube actually kind of kicks those comments out on pending live streams. But still, he was first in the chat. Paul was second. What is up? Thanks for the tailgaters tonight. Mark says station and stuff. What is up, man? Good to see you. This week has finally been a huge week for me. It was a massive stack of books for us this week too, but a lot cheaper, a lot more affordable. Like those ratio variants are getting priced way cheaper than what I remember. That and like the 1 in 100 and 1 in 150 and other Berserker stuff, they're so damaged that we didn't even get a chance to buy them, which is, I'm fine. I'm going to actually, I don't think they've ordered yet. I don't remember how FOC for issue 8 hasn't happened. So if I email them right now and drop to cover A, they won't be ordering stuff for me. And then, you know what I mean? Like I'm that kind of person that if I order it, I'm going to pay for it. I'm going to pick it up. But I want to make sure that if I'm going to cancel an order, canceling it well before their final order cutoff or whatever, they can adjust their numbers, something of that nature. Paul says, hey, yo, what's up? But come on, Mama's in the house. What's going on? Good to see you. She says, hello, lovely humans. Well, speaking of lovely humans, JP's Budget Collections in the house. Why, look, it's Andy. I bet he cut way back today after Monday's conversation. Only has 5 books this week. No, but I'm definitely dropping to cover A on it, like House of Slaughter. Definitely doing that. Comic Fanzine, what is up? Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Says, not happy. That is unfortunate. Let's turn that frown upside down. Good to see you. Hope you're going to be happy at some point. Vincent McLean, the Comic Machine. How much do you spend on New Comic Book Day? Did you cut any books off your pull list? No, we didn't cut the pull list because the pull list, once it's there, we've already ordered it. I feel like once I've ordered it, I'm committed to it. Pot committed. I'm going to pick that stuff up. Now I'm definitely going to be emailing to cut back on some stuff. I think we spent 160 today. I think we spent 160. I'm trying to remember if there were some extra issues that we picked up with some back issues. I don't think so. But that's cheaper than what I've had a lot of my other New Comic Book Days going for, because I usually buy like $40, $50 worth of bags and boards or something like that. And I don't have it down here with me at the moment, but they did slide that promo poster for Saga issue 55 my way. So I'm super excited about that. We're going to get that framed at some point, or at least get it hung up down here. So that's available. Very bland, Comic Fanzine says, very bland as far as books. Let's get into that. It's like eating cornflakes without sugar. Trying to remember what we were talking about at the very beginning, but Comic Fanzine hit me up again. I'm sure he did, Vincent, but this was his last book. I'm sure he was super disciplined. Boy, he's really putting me to the gills there. Zuni with a $5 super chat and a little fist bump action for Wednesday. Thank you very much. This is a great time to say all super chats, super stickers, and channel monetization ad revenue all will be donated to Mission 22 for the entire year of 2022. That is our mission down in the Comic Dojo, is to support Mission 22 for this whole year. So that $5 goes to Mission 22. Thank you, Zuni, very much for that. They will appreciate that. Well, at least Something's Killing the Children coming back very soon. Yes, next month, issue 21 drops. Christmas Caroline looks good. I did hear that from somebody else. I did not look into that though. Cut it. You're not enjoying it. Walk away. You just talked about cutting back. Cutting the pull. Yeah. Are we talking about House of Slaughter now? Maybe Comic Fanzine. That's what you were talking about. Was very bland. House of Slaughter. It's like eating cornflakes without sugar. Is that what we were on? What we were talking about? Cut it. What's up, people? Mojo Quid, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Good to have you in the chat tonight. He's still buying every printing covers, but isn't enjoying the story anymore. Yeah, I'm gonna cut to cover 8. It's just the story just wasn't delivering what it should. You're one of one, my guy. What up, B-Town 2294? Good to see you, brother. Thanks for being here. Come on, Mom says, hey, Vincent and JP, 1 of 10,000. Mark says, yes, I'm 1 of 1, right? Why would you want a remark on a story you didn't enjoy? 5 covers. Yeah, but I still collected it. I still picked it up. You remarked and get it signed. Maybe that becomes a channel giveaway. Maybe, it's something to hold on to still, right? Hey, Mama. Yes, apparently House of Slaughter is going to be an anthology, so the next arc might be a whole different group of characters. I'm okay with that. I don't know. I mean, at this point, they've kind of tanked the House of Slaughter name, so to speak, as far as a story or as far as a title. That might be something that I'll just read off of Hoopla or something later on down the road. Don't know if that's true, though, Zombie says. You had to be interesting to look into. A victim of its own success. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. Who else we got here? Buy, trade, or read on Hoopla. Stop buying issues of an average story. I'm still going to finish Berserker, though. I imagine that's where you're on. That's where we're at right now there. I'm still going to finish Berserker. Berserker is one that I like the premise. I like the idea. But it's essentially a comic being written for a show or a series or a movie. So I'm still going to kind of be pot committed on that stuff, especially when all the variants are like the variants are like damn near cover price for a lot of those. They're cheap. JP can't stop there. Foils. Yes, the foils. I love foils. Holy hell. Foiled again. Absolutely. But you don't really like it and you got 4 covers. Yeah, well, I buy all the covers. I didn't read the story until after I picked up the covers and got home. They're not going to let me return the covers after I pick them up. It's what I'm doing is reading the books, but also cover collecting on series. As a completionist collector, I'd much rather pay cover price for all of those books than pay more than cover price later on if a book pops off. And then it's like one of those things where if you pay $4.99 a book, whether even if it doesn't pop off and drops to a couple of bucks, I've only lost a buck or two. But if I don't buy it on New Comic Book Day and I buy it later on and I pay $20 or $30 for it and pay way more, and then it tanks in value, I've lost 20 times more money by doing it that way than by just picking up on New Comic Book Day, because the 20% off discount on my LCS makes it even cheaper as well. So it's like I'd rather pre-order and support my LCS and get my books on New Comic Book Day and pay cover price or just a hair more for like a variant, like one of those foil variants that are like a buck more. That cover price for those is only a buck more than cover A. I lose less money in the long run by paying for comics on New Comic Book Day than I do paying for them on a secondary market as a completionist collector for a series that I was interested in. Now it's unfortunate that I've lost interest in it that late or this late, but still in the long run, I lose less money by picking them up on New Comic Book Day than trying to buy them secondary if they pop off. Looking back now, House of Slaughter is going to be an easy thing to buy in dollar bins later on down the road. I mean, not the variants, not the ratios, but I mean cover A's and stuff like that. Sorry, 6 covers and only not more because they were damaged. Yeah, they were heavily damaged. That happens, unfortunately. That's some weeks everything is super pristine, and other weeks like this, sometimes it's just like everything's damaged or dirty or something goes wrong. Why do you want a full set of a series that's only average? I do not understand. It's just kind of one of those things. I feel like there's a bit more value to be seen when it comes to Berserker. And you know what? I'd rather pay New Comic Book Day prices for a series than secondary prices later on after things get more interesting. It's part of collecting, right? There's no wrong way to collect. I'm going to collect and kind of go from there and see what happens, right? That's the idea of speculating on New Comic Book Day, is to pay New Comic Book Day prices and have the issues before they get expensive. And that's how you look at building a modern collection. And then when you tap on the fact that I'm a completionist collector and I do some cover buying here, that's where things get a little out of hand, get a little crazy. Obi the Gray, what is up, man? Thanks for being here. Good to see you. Seriously, like the definition of insanity. Yeah, Yeah, I'm a little crazy. I'm a little crazy. My wife asked me the other day where I got so much candy. I said I always have a few Twix up my. Oh my lord. A few tricks up your sleeve, absolutely. McFarland DOT 1 100. See, now that's one I'm not even gonna. Nope. McFarland Department of Truth 1 in 100. I'll be happy to see the cover, maybe see one in person. But DOT is one of those series I've committed to just cover A's. You guys have seen. I have made concessions. I have made cutbacks. There are series that I've limited myself to just cover A's because DOT, I was buying all of them at the very beginning, like the first 2 issues. I have all of them. I have all the extra printings for issue 1. And I quickly said, nope, there's only so many issues that I can do this with every month. I think I got myself limited to like 3 or 4. Berserker, House of Slaughter, Something is Killing the Children, and all the Star Wars books. Essentially, I'm getting all of the covers, all of the printings, and I capped myself there. Now it's time to trim 2 back. House of Slaughter and maybe Berserker. I want to finish all those books though. I'm so close because I have so much of them. It's almost a complete collection besides the retailer exclusives. It's so close. And there's only 5 issues left. That's it. And then it's done. It's not like big issue number 1s or big issue number 2s where the ratio variants are $150 or $200. These ratio variants are really cheap when they start getting into issues 6, 7, 8, 9 because interest wanes and lacks. So it's like that's kind of where I want to pick those up and see what happens. I went to the bank the other day and an old lady asked me to help her check her balance. So I got out. I pushed her. Oh my God. Heyo, Nick's Kicks and Comics. What is up? What's going on, everybody? Good to see you, brother. Thanks for being here. Happy new comic book day. Andy, I joined in from my deathbed. Good to see you, buddy. Hopefully that isn't kicking your butt. That little cold. You can kick its tail. You got this, man. Running out of space for comic books, buys multiple copies of comic series he doesn't like. Famous last words. Vincent, I'm sending out 2 short boxes of books a week almost, though. So I bought that many comic books today. I shipped out that many comic books in the last 2 weeks. So the numbers are there. The numbers are balancing. I know you guys are having fun with this, but there's more than balance there. There's a lot more going out. Speaking of which, this Friday is going to be a big one. There's going to be a ton of books going up for Star Wars Episode 2, Star Wars Weekend Episode 2 on Whatnot. End of the first volume for HR. House of Slaughter? No, what's HR? I got to think about that for a second. How are you, Nick? What is up? Yes. What is going on? Running out of space. How, when you only bought 6 covers of series you think is average? Yeah, I hope you guys are laughing because it's not translating through in the words very well at all. But yes, it's the final issue, he says. Oh, for High Republic. End of the first volume for High Republic. Yeah, final issue. Last one on IDW. Yep. Swaggle House, what is up? Good to see you. I think that one showed up on an app, which is why people are specking on. Okay. It's Star Wars stuff. Like that's one of the things that I don't want to cut back on is Star Wars stuff, because Star Wars stuff is like, I'm really enjoying reading a lot of that. Some of the stuff is average. Like Dr. Aphra, I did cut because that was pretty average. You guys saw me talking about that quite a bit. But Star Wars stuff like is one of those things where it's there, and with the blink of an eye, it's gone. Just how fast information flows. A lot of people are looking for that. So Swaggle House, that might be it. I gotta look and check for that. I don't really start getting caught up on a lot of that stuff till the tail end of Wednesday is usually where I'm at. Rhodian Outpost, have you checked out West by John Grunn? Mobius-esque sci-fi, absolutely love it. I have not, but I will definitely take note of that and look into that. Thank you very much, Outpost. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Hit that subscribe button if you're liking what you see here. You like hanging out for New Comic Book Day. Like we said, every Monday we've got a show, and we're working to have guests on every week. Every Tuesday we're on Supplements Comics News Weekly over there. Wednesday is New Comic Book Day here. We have a blast. Thursday and Friday we're dropping some edited content if we can and doing whatnot stuff. So thanks for being here, man. Swaggle House on a ComicManAndy show. Nice to meet you. Yeah, Swaggle House is great people. Excellent addition to the comic book community in the last year or two. Swaggle House has been around a little while now. Swaggle House has been around almost 2 years, I think. Really great content. If you haven't seen Swaggle House, and we'll highlight that again. You guys need to subscribe to Swaggle House Comics and Games if you haven't already. Fantastic content, awesome talking points, and dropping content on the regular. So there's always something there to check out. Great stuff. Nick, saying hi, JP. What is up, man? Yes. Hey, Vincent and everybody. How is everybody? Josh, how's it good going, man? Good to see you. Thanks for being here. I hate my job. All I do is crush cans all day. It's so depressing. That is, yeah. Mm, that's another good one. Ghost Junk, what is up? Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Lots of new names in the chat tonight. You guys consider hitting subscribing and kicking that notification bell and coming back around for the regular weekly content. Lots of bots hanging around lately on YouTube as well. Got to get rid of those things at some point. Yeah, that's a pretty light new comic book day for me, honestly. That's kind of why a lot of the books going out via Whatnot is funding new comic book day stuff. So it's not coming out of my monthly budget. Technically, it's kind of comics for comics. It's the hobby kind of being cyclical or paying for itself, so to speak. You know what I mean? That's kind of what we're working on doing there. You going to check out Heavy Metal Drummer? Actually, a couple of people have talked about that, and it got pushed back from last week to this week. And then this week, it's not even out. I still didn't see it. Some other people in the YouTube comic book community in the chats have said that Heavy Metal Drummer was out last week down in Texas and some other states. I know our good buddy Ryan Halsep from Rhino's Comics Reviews was looking for it and has not been able to find it. If I find a copy, I'll send one his way, but I have not seen one yet out in the wild. You know what comic you can get for 160 right now? Flash 109 or 130 on eBay. Yeah, collect your way. I don't buy Flash books, and I don't buy books on eBay anymore, really. There's just no need to buy books on eBay anymore. There's way too many resources elsewhere with a lot cheaper fees, a lot faster shipping, and the connection with the community. I prefer to buy books from the community now more than anything, really. Love your life, homie. Hate us because they ate it. Oh, God. Feel better, man. I look forward to seeing you again. Annie should have won Comigories. I have never won an episode of Comigories. I have lost every episode of Comigories. That's just one of the things. I'm a modern comic book collector through and through, and I'll stay original to that. That's what I enjoy. I'm gonna love what I'm gonna buy what I love, and I'm gonna love what I buy. And as far as comic books and collecting, the people that watch Comigories aren't really big fans of modern comic books or modern comic collections. Sure, I've got some Silver Age books. Sure, I've got some stuff that's key for like the Bronze or Copper Ages, if you will, like modern 80s or late 70s and 80s and some of the 90s and stuff like that. But where I'm really passionate about comic books is collecting and reading a lot of the modern stuff. A lot of the stuff hitting now, the indie scenes, a lot of the Star Wars stuff that's going on right now is fantastic. That's what I'm passionate about. And then, Vincent's talking about Flash 109 and 130 on eBay. That's what he loves collecting. So kudos to him for Flash and looking for that kind of stuff. But we all utilize our finances in many different ways when it comes to collecting. That's just no wrong way to collect comic books. That's the best part. It really is. So I have a question for you about Whatnot. What if somebody advertises a book for a giveaway and somebody wins it, but they don't send that and then send something else that is much less exciting instead? That's an old bait and switch. And if they don't discuss that or advertise that or don't say, well, I mean, if they damage something and then they provide something of equal value, then obviously they should be writing a note or a letter or contacting somebody and saying something. But that's kind of like a standard bait and switch. It's a giveaway, though, that you don't have any money into. So I would contact buyer support, contact Whatnot, talk to them. That might be something to do. There might be something in the rules there that regulates that and should be preventing that from happening. I would feel that I would have trust issues with any seller on any platform that did that, though, at that point. That's me. Trailblazing, what is up? You do you. Yeah, absolutely. Good to see you, man. Thanks for being here. That's right, Mr. Andy. You get what makes you happy, brother. If all those covers make you happy, great. Just know you want to cut back, which sometimes means tough cuts. Stick to the series you love if you can. So what happens is this is an every year thing. Post holidays, January into February, leading into March is when I start to feel that comic overload and I do cut back. And if we look back at some of the older new comic book day content, this show on Wednesday has been running for well over a year. If I remember correctly, we're pushing a year and a half plus on new comic book day Wednesday on regular Wednesday uploads. Pretty proud of that. Really happy with that. But what that means is I'm going to start to see a pattern. And I feel a pattern developing every spring or every late winter, early spring, where I'm buying too much and I just make that decision and I cut back to cover A's. And then I don't do too bad for several months into the spring. And then all of a sudden some new series busts out or drops late summer and I'm right back at it again, buying everything. We have to learn. We have to learn to buck some of those trends. But yes, at the end of the day, we're going to have fun. We're going to enjoy it. Shinobi Fufu back on my grind again. Missed you all. Good to see you, brother. Thanks for being here. Yes, what is up? Planet Arizona Comics, what's up? What's going on, Andy? I'm off today and not driving home from work. Always good to have new comic book day off. Yes, I agree. I actually do really miss having Wednesday off and Wednesday mornings, being able to go out to those LCSs as they first open. But still, I kind of really dig having the standard first shift hours Monday through Friday in my career. That allows for a fair bit more freedom at the tail end of the day with the family, getting to be a father and a husband, and being able to focus on some of those things while still focusing on my own hobbies as well. Yes, I was messing with you some, but you should cut back on those things that you don't love and just But sometimes you gotta make mistakes to learn where to turn to next. Sometimes you gotta fall a few times to learn how to get back up, basically, and that applies with collecting and hobbies as well. Speaking of collecting and hobbies, Ryan, there he is right now. We were just talking about you for a little while there. Good to see you, brother. Thanks for being here. Glad you came off that. Wait, what? Glad you could come off long enough to give us a comic video. What's wow. I literally just filled a short box from just Indie Week from Whatnot. Indie Week was huge, and I was really sad I didn't partake in that. I wasn't feeling good. I had bronchitis most of last week, which is terrible. Anybody that's had bronchitis knows it hits you like a freight train and takes you out for 3 or 4 days. But literally, I'm chock full of indie stuff that I know people would love to have for $1 or $2. Dollar start, fun stuff there. So Indie Week I'm sad I missed on that. Not missing out on Star Wars weekend this weekend. 160, and I'm worried my wife is going to smother me in my sleep for spending 100 today. Yeah, and I didn't even get any high ratio expensive variants, and I didn't buy any supplies. I just picked up reads. That was pretty much it. And then there's ratios in there. There's additional covers and whatnot, but we didn't get like a 1 in 100 or a 1 in 500 or a 1 in 1000. Like we picked up that House of Slaughter 1 in 1000 some time ago. So we didn't even buy any like the big expensive modern books. Dude, your books can win categories, but Man Cave and Whodad are ridiculous. Cap 1, FF1, TMNT1, GSX1. That show was crazy. JP is correct. I was an honor to see some of those books in person. I hear about them. I hear Whodad and those guys talk about them, but to be able to see them live on a show, it was pretty epic. I've been missing out due to life, but the good thing is I grew a large Whatnot stash. There you go, Shinobi. Good stuff. Good to have you back and see it. Some great energy you bring in here, man. I really appreciate it. This show is our normal Wednesday night entertainment. I am so sorry. Come on, Mama. It's just so... I apologize. Wednesday, we're about recharging those batteries and getting ready for the last couple of days in the week and having a good time hanging out with you guys. And oh my God, did we go on a rant with the chat tonight? I love it. Every week is a little bit different. We can recap these books and go over some announcements. We'll go over some announcements next after we get caught up on the chat here, which we're almost there. Hey, Planet Arizona. Yes, absolutely. What's good, brothers and sisters? Brother John Comics, thank you for being here. Good to see you in a live stream tonight. Thank you. I appreciate the support and the good energy you bring. Good to see you, man. How's it going, JP? Planet says, Bub's World. Bub's going to have me in stitches again. Holy moly. I have to get used to your new Saturday night whatever show, JP. Sorry, I've missed the last few weeks. Yeah, JP's got some good stuff there. JLS Comics, speaking of great content, don't forget to subscribe to JLS Comics. Check out his content over there. Good stuff. Rainbow Optimist, what is up? Hey, I'm dropping in to ask, do you collect DC Comics? And so who are your favorite characters? Rainbow, thanks for being here. Hit that subscribe button. Come back for regular content. Because I don't collect DC Comics. I will read DC Comics that I find interesting. There was a whole stint of that Dark Knight's Death Metal series that was picking up for a long time. We are on a DC drought right now, though. We did pick up Peacemaker 3 weeks ago. But there's a lot of DC stuff. And there's only so much time. Time is the limiting. Seriously, time is the limiting factor. If I didn't have a full-time career and I had more disposable income, I would probably buy every comic with a plan to read every comic, and I would just do that comic book reading every day. There's a lot of fantastic DC reads that I miss out on. Nightwing is one I hear a lot of people telling me about. Don Davis is usually in here every week talking from House of L Comics, talking about the good DC reads that I'm missing out on. Really appreciate his perspective on that. But the limiting factor really is time. Like even all the books that we picked up today, I still only got to read 5 or 6 of them. 5 or 6, something like that. And there's still 5 or 6 more that I want to read tonight or tomorrow. But yeah, that's it. Do I collect DC comics? I have quite a few DC comics from the 80s and 90s. But as far as new comic book day DC comics, it's kind of hit or miss. More miss than hit, really, actually. JP says no worries plans. Lots of people mad about the change, but I just can't do both on Sunday. Yep, that's true. I get that. That's a really tough. That's a really tough bill to fill. Really, I imagine it's a lot of time using one of the doing those in one day. Yeah. No, you need to read Nightwing, but I tell everyone that you're not the only one that says that though. Don Davis has said that. There are several other people that say you need to read Nightwing, and I'm seriously kind of missing out on that. In fact, I'll go check Hoopla or something else, see if I can get caught up on that. But announcements, that's the end of the chat. We are caught up with the chat. Thank you all 25 for you watching live. We're 45 minutes in. I'm going to start talking fast to try to get caught up here. Announcements for this week, though, fantastic, is we're really getting things together for 2022. We've got a plan. We've got a mission. We've got a schedule going that I'm working on, actually. Because like we talked about, really quick, Monday live here every week. There'll be occasional breaks. There'll be occasional vacations, but it's time to get back into the regular Monday content where we have guests. I'm thinking of posing a question. Last week was to the effect of, do you guys think, or do we think that the comic book hunting is on the brink of death? Just because of the way the last couple of conventions have gone in the last few months, several months, 6 months, visiting LCSs and visiting stores, there's just comic book hunting didn't feel the same. And I'm like, what is going on? And I wanted to pose this question, talk to people. Last Monday was a ton of fun. Make sure you catch that on the replay. Really fantastic discussion and actually some great debate coming on there with Jimmy and I talking a couple of different perspectives. And that's really where I learn a lot there. I really love that. Tuesday nights are over on Simpleman's Comics crew over there with Comic News Weekly. Wednesday is going to be new comic book day here still every week. But now we're going to start working on dropping edited content every Thursday, and we're still going to be going live every Friday night on via Whatnot there. So we've got a really good schedule going, which leads into the first announcement for the week is this Friday, 9 p.m. on the Whatnot app. It is Star Wars Weekend Episode 2, and we're not going to disappoint. We are bringing affordable Star Wars keys, and we're going balls to the walls and loading up what we can. I looked and hunted hard the last year or so just for a day like this. And all the doubles and extras that we have for affordable Star Wars keys are all going to start for $1. I'm telling you, the fourth printing of the first appearance of Dr. Aphra in the CGC 9.6 starts for $1 on Friday night. First printing 9.6 starts for $1 on Friday night. The 1 in 300 Joe Quesada sketch variant of Star Wars The Force Awakens adaptation #1 starts for $1. That is a book that they are asking like $1,100, $1,200 for on eBay, asking prices. Starts for $1 on Friday. It is going to be affordable key after affordable key after affordable key, and we're going to throw in a little bit of run filler for some breathing room here and there, but we've got a 2-hour window to blow down the doors and burn down the house on Whatnot Friday night. And you guys know how much fun I have on that app. And I can't wait to see you guys there and have a ton of fun there. We're going to try to go for 1,500 followers total. We're going to try to hit that benchmark. We're not far from that. And we're going to go try and shoot for 200 live viewers. I don't know. It's going to be tough. Friday nights are really busy, but people are catching on to the fact that they can watch multiple auctions at the same time. You can watch 6, 7, 8 auctions at the same time. People are catching on. We're going to push to try to reach 200 live viewers on Friday night, starting at 9 p.m. Eastern. I'm excited. It's going to be a blast. I'm still thinking about multi-streaming it here on the YouTube channel, but I really want to play Star Wars music for that. And that kind of kills YouTube. YouTube kind of kills you for that with copyright stuff. So I'm kind of debating that. I'm probably just going to run it as it is and just have a blast and just make it just for Whatnot and put on Star Wars music. And I'll probably just leave a muted version of this with a banner going, telling people that they can watch quietly or they can pop over on the Whatnot. Some people have actually put that auction up on their big screen TVs, which is a fantastic idea. So they get to watch the auction on their big screen TV, but then they can listen via the app on their phone, but not have to sit there holding a small phone or a tablet there, and they can watch on the screen and still kind of hear. And that seems to work out pretty good. I've tried that out here, and it actually does kind of work out pretty neat. I like it right there. ComicManAndy, I subscribe. Hey, thank you very much, Rainbow Optimist. I hope to see you around in the live streams. If you got any feedback or anything like that, please share it. Leave comments down below. I love hanging out and talking with you guys post live streams and even during the edited content. Always love seeing the comments. Try to respond to them within a couple of day period there. But how do you make the #1 disappear? and a G, and it's oh. JP, brother, I've got a question for you, man. What is a stormtrooper's favorite retail store? The one next to Target. Michael, good to see you, man. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you stopping in, man. Hope you can catch the replay later. We are just, do we want to do a replay of the books? We're 50 minutes in. You want to do a fast replay real quick or fast review? Who's still here that hasn't seen the books yet? We're going to go over them real quick. We're going to make it fast. Like we talked about, Star Wars High Republic Adventures 13 was out today, and the retailer incentive we got as well. And like I was saying, Swaggle House made that comment earlier about maybe some apps dropped some information about this. I'm going to go look to see what information dropped about this, because it's not often I'm sitting there buying books in my LCS and I hear multiple people on their phones calling other LCSs looking for a book when my LCS is sold out already. Interesting. At the end of the day, too, like 4:30, 5 o'clock. Interesting. But yeah, those, like we said, we're pulling all the Star Wars stuff, because even if I don't read all the Star Wars stuff, a lot of the adventures and a lot of the IDW stuff, I want to buy that for my son, actually. He is really into Star Wars content, but not reading yet. Still a little young. He's really into watching Star Wars movies and playing with all the Star Wars toys. So I really want to set those aside for him. If I don't get a chance to read them, then we at least have those available. Oblivion Song 35 is out. And what's that old saying? It's not over until the fat lady sings. Well, she's definitely warming up. This is the second to last issue, and this is not ending any way that I thought the series was going to end. Even Kirkman had something to say about that in the back. So check that out if you've been reading Oblivion Song. And then Telepath 6 of 6 is out. I'm actually excited to sit down and read this entire series from start to finish and absorb that. Redshift 5 is out, and like I said, this really does tickle my sci-fi, fantasy, funny bone, space, travel, adventure kind of thing. It's pretty good. It's not like super huge budget. I feel like this is being done digitally, like the artwork and stuff like that, which isn't really kind of my favorite type of art style, but I'm enjoying it. And this issue kind of took a weird turn. Not a weird turn, but a surprising turn that makes me really look forward to issue 6. But speaking of weird, Department of Truth 16 is out, and all of the covers were psychedelic as crazy colors. And you guys know Department of Truth, I cannot just sit down and read one issue a month and know what I'm reading. I got to go back and reread several issues before, and then read this, and then read it again, and then read it again. But a book that I will definitely read again and again and again, Saga 56 is out. And some of you guys in the community that were placing some guesses on what would happen were right, and others were wrong. But this throws a curveball at the end, a creepy ass curveball. If you're a fan of Saga, you're going to be a fan of this. You're not missing out on this issue if you're a fan of Saga. Cover tears at your heartstrings a little bit, and definitely some interior pages here that are pretty sad too. So, you guys know I love reading Saga. Then we've got the holy sheet stack of variants that we're going to burn right through. Berserker, the 1 in 50 of issue 7 is out, and this is probably my favorite cover out of the group this week. The 1 in 25 is out, which is a virgin minus the trade. Yeah, it's just a virgin variant, non-foil, anything like that. The 1 in 25. But then this one turned out better than I thought it would. This is going to look really good slabbed, and when I say that, it'll sit in a short box, and I'll forget all about it for several years, and then I'll probably try to slab it later. That's definitely looking good there, though. And then, of course, they did a foil version of cover A, because why not? They foil out all of the cover A's. And speaking of cover A's, that right there, that closes out Berserker for the week. House of Slaughter 1 in 50 was my favorite House of Slaughter cover for the week. For the month, because House of Slaughter, everything's once a month. When I say for the week, it's just, you guys know what I mean. This is going to look really good slabbed, and I like the space up top there. If you are into signatures or remarks, it's something that I'm starting to get into more with the art book that we're collecting and getting custom art pieces and getting sketches done. It really kind of makes me want to tread in that lane, so to speak, of getting pieces done on comic book covers, especially blank variants. And boy, do I have an announcement for you guys that are still hanging out. Hang tight. I've got a big announcement for you guys. There's House of Slaughter number 5. And like we talked about, I'm cutting back to just cover A, and I'm going to read the next 2. And if it continues to be the same like just basically like light romantic novel story between two characters, I'm just gonna end up dropping it. There's not much slaughter, and there's not much house, and there's not much monsters, and there's not much horror and thriller. So, not living up to what we would expect after reading Something is Killing the Children, basically. Elektra 2 is out this week, and this was a series cover by. This is Essential Electric is Elektra, and that was coming from, I think, McClay or somebody over on Supplements Comics Comic News Weekly said that this is Essential Elektra in issue 2. Just the way they did that cover. It looks really good. That was a straight cover by, though. And then cover B and Berserker got mixed in over on the other side. And then the House of Slaughter 1 and 25. We're all out of order now, but that's okay. The unlocked variant? Is it unlockable? The unlockable variant, because apparently you have to order something to unlock this one. And that was added to our pull list as well. And then there's cover A. I think that's cover A. And then the sketch variant as well. Silver Surfer Rebirth 2. Phenomenal cover. Got issue 1. Gonna grab issue 3. Sit down and enjoy this. And then Silk number 2. I'm more intrigued with what they're gonna do with the character than I am intrigued with the character herself. So I read that little volley they did. I think it was a 4-issue miniseries of Silk to begin with, and that was okay. It was enjoyable. I was intrigued. I wanted to see more, but I'm curious to see what they're going to do with Silk over the next couple of years. And then Devil's Reign Villains for Hire number 2 hits the reading pile as well. Fantastic cap cover there. But that's it. Those are all the books. Again, we did a quick recap. And before I even get into the chat, I'm not going to make anybody wait for the announcement. Before I get dip back into the chat, when it comes to art and it comes to sketches and it comes to commissions, we've started something. If you guys have seen the content, go back and check the content. Drop the one more thing about the Chalk Girl. Beth over on Instagram, the Chalk Girl, did that fantastic Ahsoka Tano piece that got turned into the quilt that we picked up for the CEO of the dojo. We've actually developed a bit of a communication bridge with Beth and have been talking, not this Friday, but a week from this Friday. Beth is going to make her debut on Whatnot via the ComicManAndy Whatnot channel. She's going to do a live sketch while I do an hour-long auction, maybe an hour and a half hour-long auction. And at the tail end of the auction, she's going to auction off that sketch cover. And it's going to be a Star Wars key sketch cover. It's going to be a Star Wars book. It's going to be a key. It's going to be a sketch cover. And it's going to be custom original art that she's going to do live on Whatnot, March 4th. I'm sorry, March 4th. So that's a week from this Friday. She's going to do that sketch live. It's going to be phenomenal. And then at the very end, we're going to auction that off. That'll be the last book that goes up. She's going to auction that off. Like I said, it's going to be a Star Wars key, and it's going to be a sketch cover, and it's going to have her custom artwork on there. So if you guys don't know, I'm going to drop the link in the chat right now, and I'd like everybody to take a quick moment to hit up her IG. And let me grab that right now. Hit this link up. No, don't go to stories. Oh, I done goofed everybody. And 3, 2, here we go. All right. So do me a favor real quick while we've got you guys here is check out this link. Hit her up on Instagram. Give her a follow. She's definitely deserving of everybody's follow. Her content is phenomenal on IG. But click that Linktree link, and I'll show you right here, right now. You're going to click that link. You're going to give her a follow on Instagram. Just hit that follow button. Then you're going to come down here and you're going to hit that Linktree link. And this is seriously, the art that she has available on here is phenomenal. The work that she does. This is all with chalk. And she does a lot of this on 4-foot by 6-foot canvases live at conventions. And her artwork is phenomenal. And I'm going to continue highlighting this artist because we have something incredibly amazing lined up for everybody on Whatnot on the 4th of May, January, February, March, 4th of March. Andy can't count. But what you're going to do is once you hit follow, you can check out the art a little bit later. You're going to hit the link tree right here. I want you to go ahead and check out her Etsy store. Her Etsy store, her prints start at $8. Super affordable prints. The Spider-Verse stuff, the Mando stuff, the Ahsoka Tano print. Phenomenal prints, and she's got tons of buttons over there, and her print selection is huge. 110 different prints to choose from. You can get these in as large as 11 by 17. You can get metal versions of these prints as well. Some fantastic Black Panther work, but give her a follow over there. Check out her artwork. It is phenomenal. Be sure to check out her Etsy shop as well. And be prepared for Friday, March 4th. She's going to be doing a live sketch, live artwork on the sketch cover. It's going to be split screen and whatnot. I'm really excited to do this because I'm really excited to see how this goes and watch her art unfold live on whatnot. It's going to be a blast. So yes, please do. Please follow her. Please check out her content and check out her Etsy store. It's going to be a fun time. You guys are going to enjoy that artwork over there. So that's the big announcement for the 4th of next month is going to be that live drawing and live sketch is going to go at the very end. And it's going to be a typical Friday Night Fire. We're going to bring the standard 20 to 30 items, 30-second auctions, about an hour. Maybe I'll kind of stretch to an hour and a half to maybe give Beth a little bit more time to do a sketch, but she's gonna knock everybody's socks off. This is gonna be a really good time. Really looking forward to this. Don't forget this Friday, please do me a favor, go hit that bookmark now. Even if you're not able to make it, just hitting that bookmark helps out the algorithm. And then just being there, watching and hanging out, even if you're not interested in Star Wars books, it brings great energy and it's cyclical. It's not recyclable. It just keeps going. Your guys' energy feeds me. Hopefully my energy feeds you. And it just gets to be a really good time. And it's just really, really, really fun seeing everybody there. And I love reading the comments. My favorite part about YouTube Live and like Whatnot Live is I'm reading through the comments and somebody drops a joke in there and I don't catch it. And I read it. That's a lot of fun for me. Smash that like button, people. Yes, please and thank you, Zuni. Thank you very much. We started following her and subbed her YouTube. Yes, she has YouTube. She has the link tree will take you to everywhere. Facebook, YouTube, she streams on Twitch. So when she does her artwork live from her studio, she's streaming on all of the platforms. TikTok, I think she streams on as well. So check TikTok. Very cool stuff. Shop for Comics. What is up? Good to see you. Thanks for being here, man. Appreciate you stopping in. C-List, Eamon, good to see you as well. Hey, yes, Little Monsters is something that I'm going to add coming out of previews. Little Monsters is that creative team escapes me at the moment. It's the same creative team that did Ascender and Descender. Dustin Wen and you guys are gonna kill me. Who wrote Descender? JP is gonna punch me in the face for this one. That exact same creative team that did Ascender and Descender is coming back with Little Monsters, and I'm really looking forward to that. It sounds really cool. It's like a little vampire story. Jeff Lemire, thank you, C-List. Jeff Lemire and Dustin Wen. That one's going to hit my pull list. If I forget to put it on my pull list, I'm going to make sure I grab a copy when I see it hit the shelf, or I'll hunt it down at another LCS or something like that. Are you going to check out Little Monsters by Image? Yes, Luke. Yep, I'm working backwards in the chat, unfortunately, at the moment. I shouldn't have done that. If House of Slaughter 5 doesn't hit, then I'm done. I'm there, C-List. Please watch the replay, and you'll see my reaction to House of Slaughter 5. Or read the issue first, and then come back and watch the replay. I don't spoil it, but I definitely tell you how I feel and what my plan is next for that. After all these years, my wife still thinks I'm sexy. Every time I walk by, she says, "What?" I get that a lot too. I must have a big one. I must have a big dump truck. Been sitting on it for all these years. I can't see it. The first rule of Passive Aggressive Club is, you know what? Never mind, it's fine. Jesus Christ. Oh, my Lord. Yes, smash that like button, people. Thank you again, Zuni. Yes, her work is absolutely phenomenal. And there is just more to come from her. And the clips that she puts together for IG Reels are really, really fun content. Put it on the calendar, Josh says. Yes, next month, the 4th. Put it on the calendar. We're going to watch her. Everybody at least come watch her do this artwork over the course of the auction. That's going to be a ton of fun. Write it on a whiteboard is what? Write it on a whiteboard as they are remarkable. I see what you did there. Daymers, I see what you did there. I see what you did there. Yes, Jeff Lemire was the writer for Descender and Ascender, is going to be the writer for the Little Monsters. I'm looking forward to that. I'm not one that's much of a fan of a vampire storyline. Like, I didn't keep up with Philadelphia and some of the other ones. But I'm willing to give this creative team a shot because I really love what they did on some other titles. So I'm willing to give it a shot. ComicManAndy, who's your favorite DC superhero supervillain, if you don't mind me asking? Oh, my Lord. I don't think I've ever taken the time to really consider what's my favorite superhero and supervillain in DC. I mean, it's going to be cliche to just say, oh, Superman. That's just an easy pick. Deathstroke's an anti-hero? There's so much. We could do a whole show. In fact, I might have to look at doing that one of these days. I have to approach that another time, Rainbow Optimist. But hey, you hit that subscribe button. Really appreciate it. Hit that notification bell. Look for when we're dropping content, because that's actually something we should do on a Modern Comic Mondays, talking about DC superheroes and supervillains. And definitely see where I fall on that. I don't think I've ever really paid the time to do that, and I probably should. So I appreciate that comment, man. I really do. But that's New Comic Book Day Wednesday. We've gone over an hour. Usually we land at the 45-minute mark, but we've had so much fun talking with the chat tonight. Ryan Halsep says he's back. Ryan, you are definitely back. Ryan's hopefully going to be available next Monday for Modern Comic Mondays to be one of the couple of guests that'll be over there. I'm working on a talking point. I think I got something special for you guys next week. Ever think how long it took Robert Pattinson to go from vampire to a bat? No, I didn't. I see what you did there. But that's New Comic Book Day Wednesday, like we talked about. I appreciate each and every one of you that shows up every week. You guys are fantastic people and human beings, and I love the energy that you guys bring. You guys re-energize me for the rest of the week going into Thursday and Friday. We're going to clip some content tonight, do some editing. We are loading books on the Whatnot app tonight while we read comic books too. So if you want to see what's going to hit for Star Wars night on Friday night, keep checking the Whatnot app. Go to Friday night, search ComicManAndy. Follow if you're not following. If you are following, just hit the reload and check the tag down below as we load books. We're going to start pulling and loading right now. I've got an idea of what's going to get loaded. I just got to find it. That's the tough part. Finding books is the tough part. Holy moly. But yeah, we did announcements. We went over to the books. It's been a ton of fun. It's been New Comic Book Day. I'm excited to read more stuff. I'm also excited to do some maintenance. Pull list maintenance, we'll call it. We'll call it pull list maintenance. Yes, Ryan says he's going to be there. That is absolutely fantastic. So tune in next Monday for Ryan and I, at least. And you know what? Maybe we should talk about pull lists next Monday and how crazy that stuff has been. Yes, Comic Man. Yes, have a nice evening, man. Thanks for being here. Good to see you. Look forward to seeing you again on the replays and on the other live streams. Why do Norwegians? Yeah, that's my favorite one to use at work. I'm not following for that one. Following for that one, man. Need to organize those boxes, sir. Yeah, they're on shelves, but they're definitely not in any order. But yes, why did Norwegians put barcodes on the side of all their battleships? It's so when they return to port, they can Scandinavian. God, Miss So, what is up? Thanks for being here. Good to see you. Like I said, we're closing out. Please catch the replay for New Comic Book Day Wednesday. I'm ComicManAndy. This is the Comic Cave and Comic Dojo. Appreciate each and every one of you here every week for this fantastic topic and discussion that is New Comic Book Day. But this connective tissue that is comic books is fantastic, right? But like we said, each and every one of you are the most fantastic part. And you guys know how I'm going to do this, right? I'm going to go peace out. I'm going to go piggies out. I'm going to catch you all on the flip side for the next one. But remember, the most amazing part all day, every day, stay original. Take care of each other. See you guys on the next one.
Be excellent to each other. And party on, dudes.
Excuse me while I change. The holler boogie has made me sweaty. Yeah, sweaty.
Switch to targeting computer.
I love gold.
Stay on target.
I love gold.
Stay on target.
I love gold.